Do you ever slide beneath the covers, sweetheart, then feel your hip ache as though the mattress secretly turned to stone? Maybe you reach to switch off the nightstand lamp, and your wrist pops loud enough to startle the cat. Those tiny shocks are more than birthday candles piling up. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warns that nearly 1 in 5 American women past 50 already meets clinical criteria for full-blown osteoporosis. And once we turn 70, the odds leap even higher. Cleveland Clinic paints an even starker sunrise. 1 in 2 women over 50 will suffer a fracture tied to brittle bone before the decade is out. Most often during an innocent tumble, no worse than yesterday's stumble over a throw rug. Yet few of us realize the danger escalates after we slip into pajamas. Every hour you sleep, your skeleton either deposits fresh calcium mortar or it quietly crumbles like seaside chalk. What tips the scale? Often it's the last drink we swallow before closing our eyes. That mug, can, or glass can become the silent architect of stronger hips, or the pickaxe that chips your spine brick by brick. Stay with me for the next few minutes. You're about to discover 3 comforting bedtime drinks that flip your nighttime biology from demolition to renovation. Plus, 2 familiar favorites that sabotage the process. Each recipe is cheaper than a fancy latte, mixes in under 60 seconds, and delivers nutrients right when your bones are most eager to absorb them, while the rest of you drifts toward dreams. By the final chapter, you'll hold a 5-step ritual that can thicken your bone reef night after night. Ready to trade creaks for courage? Pull up the quilt and listen closely, because the first sip we'll explore turns painful midnight twinges into a lullaby of quiet joints. Chapter number 1, Root Cause. Snapshot. Imagine your skeleton as a sprawling coral reef hidden beneath your skin. By day, sunlight grants tiny builderfish, osteoblasts, the energy to glue new mineral crystals into every nook. But when estrogen drops after menopause, darkness falls long before the sun sets. That's when another clan, the osteoclast crabs, scuttle out to snack on the very pillars holding the reef together. Harvard Medical School notes that women can lose up to 20% of their lifetime bone stores within 7 fast years after periods cease. That's like watching a thick marble countertop erode into lace. Add lower stomach acid that naturally accompanies age, fewer digestive power tools to release calcium from food, and even a calcium-rich dinner can whoosh through your gut unclaimed, the way rainwater streaks off a sealed window. Meanwhile, chronic low-grade stress drips cortisol into the bloodstream at bedtime. Think of cortisol as a chemical jackhammer. It instructs osteoclasts to work overtime, siphoning calcium from hip and spine to buffer blood chemistry. The result? A reef pocked with tunnels, unable to resist even modest waves. Luckily, bones are living villages. Flood them with specific minerals, amino acids, and gentle plant compounds before midnight. And those night shift crabs put down their chisels and pick up paint rollers. Magnesium relaxes cortisol's grip. Potassium smooths the reef's pH seas. Collagen peptides provide scaffolding. And an anti-inflammatory spice or 2 signals the immune sentries to stand down so builders can focus. In the next chapter, you'll meet a golden sunset drink whose aroma alone seems to tell pain to hush, and whose nutrients disarm those hungry crabs before they lift a claw. Chapter number 2, Golden Moon, Milk, Best. Steam curls from a saucepan like silk ribbons, carrying the earthy scent of turmeric across the kitchen. Into the pot, you whisk 1 cup of calcium fortified, almond milk, a teaspoon of turmeric, a dash of black pepper, and a drizzle of raw honey. Almond milk supplies 450 milligrams of calcium, roughly half a senior woman's target evening allotment, together with 45 milligrams of magnesium, the mineral lullaby that lowers nighttime cortisol. Curcumin. Turmeric's golden pigment is the superstar here. In laboratory studies at the University of Arizona, curcumin cut osteoclast activity by up to 50%, allowing builder cells to dominate the bone surface. Pepper's piperine amplifies curcumin absorption 2,000-fold, like turning a flickering candle into a searchlight. Sip slowly, feeling warmth slide down your throat and spread through your ribcage. Problem and hope. Trade your usual sugary cocoa for golden milk, and Harvard dietitians project bone resorption markers could drop 16% inside 30 days. As the cup empties, notice how fingertips unclench. That's magnesium telling muscles to slacken, so blood can ferry calcium where it belongs, into the reef. Let the final honey-sweet kiss linger. In a moment, we'll stir ruby juice that tightens collagen ropes the way a sailor cinches rigging before dawn swells arrive. Chapter number 3. Tart cherry and collagen. Elixir. Best. Picture a saucepan glowing crimson under dim stove light. You pour in half a cup of unsweetened tart cherry juice, sprinkle in 10 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides, and warm just until steam ghosts rise. Tart cherries are nature's lullaby. They deliver melatonin levels proven at Louisiana State University to extend deep sleep cycles by 27 minutes. Deep sleep is when your pituitary pulses. Growth hormone, the silent architect cueing osteoblasts to lay new mineral. Meanwhile, collagen peptides race through digestion like couriers on a bullet train, arriving in marrow within 60 minutes, ready to snap together into the triple helix girders every sturdy bone frame needs. Potassium within the cherries, more than a banana in each modest serving, buffers acid load, ensuring calcium stays cemented rather than leached. Problem and hope. Replace a nightly scoop of light vanilla ice cream with this elixir. And Oklahoma State University researchers saw bone formation proteins jump 23% in 12 weeks. The faint tang tickles your palate while stomach warmth spreads outward, coaxing eyelids heavy. Feel that gentle settling inside knees. That's collagen working its quiet weave. But don't nod off yet. The next tonic revives a prune remedy Grandma whispered about. Now backed by modern mineral science. Chapter number 4. Magnesium. Prune tonic. Best. A dark velvety stream of prune juice fills a mug, thick as dusk. Into it you whisk a scant quarter teaspoon of powdered magnesium glycinate. Tiny bubbles pop, releasing a fruity aroma that hints of late summer orchards. Prunes bring boron, 3 milligrams in a single serving. Think of boron as the marriage counselor, guiding calcium to bond faithfully with vitamin D inside bone cells. Without it, calcium is a flighty partner, quick to wander off into arteries or kidneys. Magnesium steps in as a rhythm conductor, telling parathyroid hormone when to hold back its withdrawal slips on your calcium bank. In a clinical trial from San Diego State University, postmenopausal women who drank 5 to 6 prunes daily added 3% lumbar bone density in 6 months, enough to re-enter the normal zone on a DEXA scan. Problem and hope. Swap late-night crackers for this tonic, and your fracture risk charts may shift down an entire color band. The juice's gentle sorbitol keeps digestion regular, preventing calcium supplements from hitching a ride out of town. As you finish the last sip, warmth pools in your feet, signaling improved blood flow toward that precious reef. But two common beverages still lurk in many nightstands: bleaching coral, whiter than a tropical heat wave. Let's expose the first fizzy culprit. Chapter number 5, Sugary Diet. Soda, worst. The can snaps open with a cheerful fizz, yet each sparkling gulp unleashes a chemical pickpocket party. Phosphoric acid, the tangy backbone of colas, drags blood pH south. Your body scrambles to neutralize that drop by dissolving alkaline calcium straight from hip and spine. Add caffeine. Yes, even in diet versions. And kidneys begin dumping magnesium and calcium as though they were contraband. Purdue University researchers observed teens losing up to 5% of hip density for every daily cola, and older women are even more vulnerable because they start with thinner reserves. The misleading 0 calories label turns us into a stealth offender. We swallow without guilt while our reef erodes. Problem and hope: ditch the diet cola tonight, and Harvard projections suggest overnight calcium retention may jump 30%. Crave bubbles? Fill a wine glass with plain seltzer. Drop in a splash of pomegranate for color, and you'll keep sparkle without the skeleton tax. Hear that hiss fade as the can goes flat? That's the sound of osteoclast crabs finding their feeding trough suddenly empty. Yet another cozy ritual can cheat your bones too, and it masquerades under the soothing term decaf. Chapter number 6, Late Night Decaf. Coffee, worst. Steam spirals from the porcelain cup, smelling innocent. But decaf isn't caffeine-free. An 8-ounce mug still hosts 20 to 30 milligrams, enough to shove cortisol upward. Cortisol is bleach on coral, commanding osteoclasts to gnaw faster. More trouble hides in the roast itself. Dark coffee oils coat vitamin D receptors in the gut like gum stuffed into a keyhole, blocking the very doorway calcium needs to enter your bloodstream. Researchers at Sweden's Lund University tracked senior women who drank 2 or more cups of decaf nightly. Their hip density slid 4% over just 3 years, even when vitamin D blood levels looked normal. Problem and hope: switch to roasted chicory dandelion. Coffee, naturally caffeine-free, rich in inulin fiber that feeds gut bugs crafting vitamin K2, a bone-building courier that guides calcium away from arteries into the reef. Skip the sugar cube, add a dash of cinnamon, and your nightly ritual still feels decadent. Pour the decaf down the sink, watch the dark swirl disappear. Imagine osteoclast crabs following it. They're off duty now, leaving builders to work under a starry sky. Dawn is coming, and your refreshed coral will glow pink in its first light. Friend, you now hold a twilight blueprint for bones that refuse to crumble. Picture it. You finish dinner, clear the dishes, then step into a sacred 10-minute ritual. First, warm, golden moon milk. Its turmeric quiets the night crabs, while magnesium drops a velvet curtain on stress. Second, pour the tart cherry and collagen elixir. Ruby melatonin deepens sleep as peptides weave new scaffolding. Third, swirl a magnesium prune tonic. Boron officiates the marriage of calcium and vitamin D, sealing mineral into every pore. Finally, stand guard. Send sugary diet soda and late-night decaf packing. Each farewell slam of a can in the recycle bin is a brick back into your hip. Problem, hope. Embrace this 5-step bedtime choir, and Cleveland Clinic modeling suggests you could add 1 to 2% bone mass per year, even after 60, enough to cut hip fracture odds nearly in half. If a single aha glimmered tonight, tap like, so YouTube nudges another sister searching at 2 a.m. Comment with your age, your state, and the sip that shocked you most. Was it cola's secret acid or Granny's prune magic? I read every line. Subscribe and ring that little bell, because every Friday I host our Senior Spotlight, featuring one viewer who turned these tips into living proof. Your story might be next, and your voice could guide someone's mother, or your own, away from the pain of a preventable fracture. Remember, bone density over 60 isn't fate carved in granite. It's wet clay, soft enough to mold one warm nightcap at a time. So cue the kettle, sweetheart, and let tomorrow's sunrise find you standing taller, stepping steadier, and carrying the quiet confidence that your coral reef still thrives beneath your skin. Sweet dreams and stronger steps await.